and how it can be useful for anxiety and signs that you might benefit from niacin for your anxiety, and what kind of niacin you might consider taking and how to dose it. So one of the things to know about niacin is it's a form of a B vitamin, and our B vitamins are really important in that they help your brain make mood stabilizing chemicals like serotonin and dopamine. Your B vitamins are antioxidants. They help you make your sex hormones like estrogen and testosterone. They're also important in making your stress hormones like cortisol. Your body uses B vitamins almost everywhere there's a reaction that happens. In fact, I want to tell you a story and then we'll get into more detail about niacin. When I was in my very first day of biochemistry in medical school, the teacher came in and he had these two huge chalkboards. And the chalkboards were hooked together and two people were rolling them in. And on the chalkboards were a huge biochemistry map. And it was incredibly large and incredibly overwhelming, and we were all just looking at it in awe. And the teacher kind of smirked and said, "You're going to be memorizing all of these pathways by the time you graduate." And one interesting thing is that if you stand up and you walk to those chalkboards and you look at the chemical reactions, B vitamins are all over the place, including niacin. And so niacin helps you with metabolizing, it helps you with hormones, it helps you with your neurotransmitters, and it's also good for balancing cholesterol. We've seen in the research that niacin is really important in helping stabilize your mood. So if you deal with depression or anxiety, niacin could be a part of it. And here's some signs of niacin deficiency. And so as you're listening to this or watching this video, just kind of do a self-reflection and see if any of these resonate with you. So some signs of niacin deficiency are depression, brain fog, not feeling kind of crisp or clear. Getting headaches is actually a really common sign of niacin or B3 deficiency. Feeling like your anxiety is accompanied by kind of restlessness. We talk about the 8 types of anxiety, and one of the common types of anxiety that can come from niacin or vitamin deficiency is nerve or neurological anxiety, where you might feel numbness or tingling in your fingers or your feet or even in your face or anywhere in your body. And so that could be a sign of niacin deficiency. And so taking niacin can be really helpful. In fact, the RDA for niacin is to take between 14 or 18 milligrams every single day. And so if you're not getting that in, you could be struggling from symptoms of deficiency, but also the more that you're putting demand on your body, the more your body may need. And so what we want to talk about is how to supplement with niacin and what form is best. And so you may have heard that if you take niacin that you may get flushes of heat, and that's true. And so niacin, if you just take straight up niacin, people often feel like they're having a hot flash where your chest may feel hot, your face may get red and blotchy, you may feel like you're kind of claustrophobic or even itchy. And so a better form of niacin, if you don't want to deal with all those side effects, is called niacinamide. Niacinamide is easy to find at the health food store, and it works just as well if you're aiming to support your biochemical pathways to reduce your anxiety. You can also get niacin in your diet, so eating beets and fish and eggs and milk and peanuts and broccoli, all of those foods contain niacin. And so the other reason that you might benefit from niacin is if you have a genetic mutation where your body easily overmethylates, or if you have overdone it on your methylation. So if you take too much methylfolate, which is a type of B vitamin, or if you take too much methylcobalamin, if you find that you're getting incredibly anxious, taking niacin, again in the form of niacinamide, can actually pretty quickly antidote that. And here's a story. I had a woman come into my office, this was many years ago, and she had bipolar disorder. And when she slipped into mania, it was mostly characterized by her feeling incredibly anxious and having insomnia. So she went to a well-intended doctor who's like, well, B vitamins are really good for sleep, so let's put you on a B vitamin IV. And what ended up happening is that the mania got much, much worse, and she stopped sleeping, and she ended up in the hospital. So what we did is we looked at her genetic testing, and we identified that she really struggles taking things like methylfolate or methylcobalamin B vitamins. And when she ended up taking them in the future, if she felt a little bit anxious, she could take niacin and ended up antidoting it and felt quite a lot more like herself. This individual dosed it around 50 milligrams, and it's all about individualizing it for you, but that's what was really helpful for her. So today we've been just having a quick little conversation about niacin for anxiety. Niacin is really good for just stabilizing your mood, balancing your hormones, and it's an easy to find, inexpensive over-the-counter option. And generally speaking, you want to get the niacinamide form unless you're really ready for that flush of heat detox reaction. But otherwise, it can be really helpful. B vitamins, great for the brain. And so if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to save the video, and there'll be links to resources. If you want to read more about this, they'll be there for you. This has been Dr. Nicole, and I'm glad that you're here. And if you have any other questions, let me know. I'll talk to you later. Bye, loves.